Hi creeps. Sorry, had to get a drink. It's been a crazy day, including, as you can tell, I'm in a different hotel room because I had to switch hotels because originally I was supposed to be in Manly for 4 days. So I had to get that freaking hotel in Potts Point to save my ass when the conference got canceled. So now I am in the hotel room I was supposed to be in these couple last days. Anyways, before I left Potts Point and came down to the CBD, which is actually a great change because it's super, super central. It's close to Circle Quay, it's close to the Queen Victoria building and all that stuff. So that's fantastic. But before I left Potts Point, I had to go check out a few last things. So I went to Bill's, I ate some amazing ricotta pancakes, hot cakes, my bad. And then I went and checked out the Darlinghurst Gaol, the old Darlinghurst Gaol, which is now an arts uni. So that was a real treat to be able to walk around there. And then I decided, because I'd heard the name tossed around, and I'm like, I had to look it up who she was. There's a woman named Devine, who in the early 1900s was one of the main crime bosses in the King's Cross neighborhood. She owned a bunch of brothels and sly grog shops. So I went and checked out one of her most famous haunts, as well as the site of this big mob that happened in, I believe, 1929, because you had Devine and then you had her rival, someone named Kate Lee. And a bunch of their mobsters essentially came together and went at each other with razors. They call them the razor gangs. These people, they didn't use guns. They used razors and their fists and their boots. It was gnarly. So of course I had to go find that. And then I come down to the CBD, I walk around, I check out the botanical gardens, I check out the Sydney Opera House, I check out some shopping, it starts raining on me. It was a crazy day, guys. So I hope you enjoy. Get your wine. It's gonna be an adventure, this one. Chin chin. So before I go check out some jails and brothels, I'm gonna go to local favorite Bill's and get some breakfast because, as always, I'm starving. Breakfast was amazing and I'm stuffed, and now it's time to go see the jail and where people were hung. Cheery morning. So we are now, you can see this is part of the walls of the old Darlinghurst Gaol. So the history behind this place is kind of crazy. So they started construction here in 1822, all done by hand by convicts. Then they run out of money, it sits and does nothing for 12 years. Then they finish it, and then finally prisoners are able to be jailed here in 1841. Now, over its years of use, over 76 people were hung here. The last hanging happening in 1907, and it was a woman. So they say those 76 people that were hung here haunt the place, obviously. So I'm gonna see if we can get inside. Oh, by the way, it's an art uni now. What? So this is super exciting. This gate right here, which is the East Gate on Forbes Street, is where the public executions took place. They would roll out a platform and hang the people right above there for all of the public to see. Now, it's a university right now. I'm not allowed if I'm inside. I don't know if I'm allowed inside. I'm going to attempt to get inside. But in any case, we can still see where the executions happened. So that's a win. Okay, so walking around that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, I couldn't go inside any of the buildings, but I peeked in some of them and they've all been changed for the university. But we are now on our way to go check out a pretty interesting site in the life of Tilly Devine. So Tilly Devine is basically known as like this huge crime boss back in the 1920s. She came over from England with her husband at the time, James Devine. She put him in charge of finding the girls, getting them hooked on cocaine, and then she would put them in her 30+ brothels and bordellos that she had around town, along with all of her sly grog shops. So what we're gonna go find is one of her haunts right now. So right behind me is one of Tilly Devine's favorite places. I think she actually lived here. She had wild parties here. She had some crazy shit go down, basically. So she married somebody later on after James, a guy named Eric Parsons. I don't know what happened to James. I don't know if he died, if they got divorced. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But her and Eric, lived here, got married in 1945, and then she shot him in the bedroom. So there you go. Now we need to go find where her and her rival, this woman named Kate Lee, had a huge blowout, where they call it the Razor Gangs of Potts Point or King's Cross, whatever time period you're talking about, the area in. Basically, what we're gonna go find is the site where 40 of their mobsters came together and just like cut each other up and like really tried to kill each other. So let's go find that plaque. I'm actually really enjoying walking down these streets because you can see all these old buildings, and this is where a lot of Tilly's brothels were, and a lot of Kate Lee's brothels. They were really like these two big mob bosses, if you will, and they were women, and they were running this town. So hell yeah to these boss babes. Well, I was looking for an actual plaque, and it's written on the ground, but I found it. So basically what that is, it's the site of where the gangs, the rival gangs, about 40+ people met and, you know, obliterated each other. And nobody told the police. That's just how things were run back then. This was a sex trafficking town. This is where you came for opium dens. This is where you came to do all of the fun stuff back in the day. Well, naturally, I had to come all the way over to see the Opera House up close and personal. It's pretty cool, and you can see it's right here in the harbor, and there's Harbor Bridge. Super pretty, and this is the opera bar that I will be visiting at some point. But now I'm gonna go walk up the steps and see this baby up close and personal. So I just happened upon this. Oh my God. It's the government house in the Botanic Gardens. I didn't even know this thing was a thing. Get real. I'm obsessed. Of course, I missed the tour. Of course, there's a tour of the building that I didn't even know it existed, that was here, and it's incredible, and I'm in love with it. So I have officially happened upon one of the oddest things I've ever seen. I have found all of these pieces of old building in the grass. This is absolutely bizarre and so cool that they kept all the architectural details of the building and implanted in the grass. Like, look at this. Just sitting here. Like, how has anybody ever seen anything like this? It's just the oddest thing. It's like a building graveyard. I'm in a building graveyard. Oh my God, this is rad. One of the things that I love most about Sydney is these picture-perfect cafes that are just everywhere. These little outdoor cafes. I'm about to go check out the Botanic Palace Garden, so that sounds exciting. Yet another amazing random find is this beautiful neoclassical fountain in the middle of the palace garden. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it is the oldest and most expensive fountain in New South Wales, and it features Captain Arthur Phillip, who was basically the first governor of New South Wales. The entire thing is built out of Italian marble and bronze. Can you even imagine how much that would have cost? It's just absolutely beautiful. Take a look at that. Guess who got herself an upgrade? This, my friends, is the new room. Oh. Yes, much bigger, and I actually have an outside view. Yay! And the bathroom. Yeah. Well, the rain is here. I don't know if you guys can tell, so I'm gonna get a burger and a beer before I go to a museum so I can be indoors. Well, it's officially raining. So I hope you understand now why I look like a fuzzy mess, because I got rained on pretty hard. I probably should have showered and got cute before I filmed this, but you know what? It's been a long day. I'm too tired. I want to take a bath. I don't want to put makeup back on. That's not your guys' problem. That's my problem. Anyways, it was really an amazing adventure today. After I went to the Sydney Museum and saw the underground exhibit, I didn't realize Kate Lee is way more of a big deal than Tilly Devine is. Like, she was considered the worst woman in Sydney. Like, why I didn't follow her journey? Like, I don't know. I messed up there, but it's fine. It's all amazing. They were all badasses. We all know I have a soft spot for people that own brothels. I love a madam. I always thought I'd be a great madam. I'm a big fan of opium dens, not condoning it, just saying in a historical sense. I'm a big fan of the 20s, the late 1800s. We all know this. So today was a great day for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and God knows what the next day is gonna bring us. As always, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, send me some messages. Let's have some weird talks. I don't know what that means, but whatever. Ching ching creeps.